Today I will be reading the part of Caroline, who has just been visited by a very old friend of hers to come and tell her some news, which sends her on a very emotional roller coaster of, memories and what ifs. And in the end, she is still left with his unfulfilled promise. This is The Promise by Daniel Martine. How long have we known each other now, Bobby? It's been, what, 20, 25 years? Hell, we were in Mrs. Moosenberger's first grade class together. I mean, we saw each other every day, all the way up through high school. And if we didn't see each other, you'd call me, and we'd talk on the phone for hours. You were my bestest friend. The best ever. You were definitely my first boyfriend. You were my first kiss when we were 12, and remember, we thought that was going to last forever. I mean, even when we dated other people in high school, I always knew that you were the one, even when you broke up with me after prom. But it was just supposed to be that way. I mean, everybody thought so. Oh, you said that our love was written in the stars. You remember the night you said that, Bobby? Out at Epson's Pond? That was the first night that we had made love together. I remember the moon was so ginormous and it was so blue. I'd never seen anything like that before. Just remember it was so peaceful and isolated. Except, remember that obnoxious bullfrog? Oh my gosh. Besides that, the night was so quiet and still. I just remember feeling that we were the last two people left on this earth. I mean, stars were winking right at us, twinkling because we were just so perfect together, you know? And then you said it. You said that our love was written in the stars. It was the most beautiful thing anybody had ever said to me. It still is. Then we graduated and it all got changed. I mean, you went away to college and I went to school closer to home, and all of a sudden I didn't see you anymore. And I called. I tried to visit you, Bobby, but you were always with school or other things, I guess. I just wasn't important. And I tried to understand. I really did, but it was hard. It is hard to love somebody so long and so much, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. It's hard to love someone with all your heart, and then they're just not around, Bobby. It was sort of like you died, and I didn't even get invited to the funeral. Then, one day out of the blue, 5 years later, by the way, you call me to tell me that you are getting married. Married, Bobby. And you want me to come to the wedding because I was your best friend. And you wanted me to share in your happiness. Watching you walk down that aisle with a complete stranger was the most difficult thing that I ever had to do. It was like getting slammed in the gut with a sledgehammer, Bobby. I could barely breathe. Eventually, years actually, I got over it, kind of. I mean, time heals all wounds, or so they say. Stupid. So, I had my boyfriends and my lovers and some long-ish relationships, but I never felt about anybody the way that I felt about you, Bobby. Not even close, because always lurking in the back of my mind was a 900-pound gorilla that was the promise of you. The promise that our love was truly written in the stars, just like you said. Well, we're all grown up now, Bobby, and I know the things that people say when they're young and in love, no matter how heartfelt, are usually just fairy tales. Just beautiful, beautiful lies. But you see, Bobby, time doesn't heal all wounds. Not usually. It just sort of numbs the pain sometimes so that maybe we can forget about it just for a little while. That's all. And now here you are, after all these years, back again in my life in the flesh, telling me that you still love me, that you have always loved me, that we can finally be together just like the star said, just like that. But you see, the heart, it is a curious thing. It's not a bunch of valves and pumps just pumping blood through our bodies. It is so much more than that. It's a repository for a lifetime of feelings. You know, a memory bank of emotional trauma and triumph very deep inside of you. It's out of sight, out of mind, I guess, but that's it. It's not forgotten. Doesn't mean you get to forget it. And that's just where I am. That's where our love is, Bob. It's buried deep. And the only thing that my heart remembers is the promise of you. Thank you, everybody.